Now let's turn our attention to modeling some ornamentation that will hang off the bottom of the lamp. I envision a brass finial with some leaves that are arrayed around the perimeter. This is a classical motif that will give you more practice with polygonal modeling. I'll select the lamp and hide unselected. Rotate underneath it and zoom in. Apply an Edit Poly modifier. Go to the polygon level. Ignore backfacing. Use the Select Objects tool in crossing mode. Make a crossing window and select all of these centrally located polygons. I think I'll start by scaling those down using the selection center. I just need to be sure that I'm not transforming it. Perhaps I'll move that down just a wee bit. This would be better seen in the front viewport. If you press F, it won't take you to the front viewport because you have different shortcut keys while you're in the Edit Poly modifier. Right-click on the viewport label and access the front viewport manually. Here I'll zoom in closer and move these until the curvature looks just about right. Looks fine. Okay, now I'll use the Extrude tool, but instead of clicking this button, I'll click this Settings dialog button. While I'm here, I can navigate in the viewport. In fact, I'll arc rotate slightly into a user view, and you can see what's happening here. I'll go into shaded mode. I'll use the local normal as the extrusion direction and increase the extrusion height. Here I'm going down a short distance. I'll click Apply and we have one extrusion made. I'll toggle on edged faces so you can see what's happening. It made one extrusion up to this point. And what we see now is kind of like a preview of what would extrude the next time I click Apply. I'll click Apply again and we're left with another extrusion. You see that? I'll do it one more time and then click OK. Now I did it that way so that we generate some edges along the way. This is different than just making one big extrusion. Now I had something in mind, and that is I can shape this in the front viewport by going to the vertex level. I'll turn off Ignore Backfacing, this time because I want to select all these vertices here. I'll scale them up a little bit, and this way I can give some shape to this thing that's hanging down off the lamp. You see? Now, this is projected right off the lamp. So if I let it stand as it is, it would be a transparent object, and that's not really what I intend. What I'll do is select all of those polygons and then detach them. You have a choice with detach whether you're going to detach them to an element within the object or as a clone within the object. Here what I want to do is just make it a separate object. I'll call it finial. Then I can get rid of this modifier. I'm left with a separate object now. Let's give it a different color to differentiate it. Now for this object, I'd like to add some subdivision to it. I'll open up Subdivision Surface and use NURBS Subdivision. I'll use 2 iterations and toggle off edged faces. Now we have an attractive looking finial sticking down from our lamp.